Hey, Shalom, Mark, this is Karma Kapash from Jim London, giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Chachadash. Want to give double honors unto the elders, the apostles of GMS, and Shalom out there to the whole wallet, pushing his truth and all sincerity. Back again with another video, right? And I got this, elder brother Ricard put this up in the chat, and this is, he's obviously, put here in the Google search, and the AI has responded with some information about the challenges that face the United Kingdom, right? And even the AI knows that the UK is fucked, right? And this goes out to the rest of the East Kingdom, man. It's all fucked because they're all dealing with similar situations that is really breaking down their kingdom, their countries, right? Beginning with America, right? And these are just some snippets from the problems that the UK is facing, and that there's no answers to. There's no, they got no answers for any of these issues, really, right? And that's because it's all doomed to fail. It's all going to crash and fail, right? And because that's what the elites want, right? Ultimately, that's what the Most High wants. Yahweh, that's what He wants, right? It's going to fall. It's going to crash because it's been built to fail. All right, the elites want to come and rush in and bring in a new world order, new system in place, right, to get rid of all these failing systems that they currently have running. All right, so this is what the AI, the AI had to say concerning this, right? So we're gonna go through this, right? But let me grab this first, actually. It's Isaiah chapter 19, verse 14. Right, again, dealing with America first and foremost, right? This scripture is really speaking about America, but the same could be said for the rest of his kingdom, Esau's kingdom, right? So, is Isaiah 19, verse 14 says, "The Lord have mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work." Everything they do is going, going wrong. Everything that they set up is failing, and albeit it's on purpose, these elites have set it up to fail, right? From a bystander's point of view, right? It's like everything that has been set up is now failing. And there used to be a term, when I was doing engineering, that they'd purposely make things to break. It's supposed to last a certain amount of time, but then you gotta bring it in for maintenance or replace it or whatever, and that's what keeps these industries going. The fact that you have to keep replacing the machinery or the items that you've purchased, you have to keep replacing it with a new one, or they spend money on maintaining it, fixing it, right? And that's how they make their money, and that's how they keep their businesses going, rather than make a complete product that doesn't fail or it doesn't break. They would lose money on this model because you just buy it at one time, you'd never buy it again, right? It's the same with ESOL system in general. It was made to wear down, and be broken down and fail, right? So they can, like I said, bring in a new system, okay, one that revolves around their high technological, advances, right? Leading to the MOTB, okay, the RFID CHIP, right? That's what they want to do, right? That's why they're investing in all this technology that they're building up around us, right? But yeah, they've mingled a perverse spirit in the midst, right? So everything's failing. Everyone's watching the shit fall apart. Nothing's working how it's supposed to, right? So they have caused Egypt to err in every work, everything that they do. Therefore, so as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit, so neither shall there be any work for Egypt, right? Esau's getting rid of all the jobs, man. He wants robots, machines, AIs to take over everything, man. He doesn't really want you. He doesn't want people on the planet. We know this, why? Because of the Georgia Guidestones, right, that he had demolished not so long ago, right? His will or his intent is to have a small population upon the planet that he rules over, okay, with absolute finality, all right? He doesn't want the whole 8 billion people that he got to watch after. You are resource intensive. Humans are resource intensive. That's why you are a part of the problem in their global agenda in the so-called climate change and all this kind of stuff, right? You people are the problem for them, right? And they want to take everything away from you and have you living on minimal resources, right? Because you're too resource intensive right now. You know, they blame you. They don't blame themselves, they blame you, you know, for using all the things that they create, right? They won't blame you. All right, so neither shall there be any work for Egypt which the head or tail, branch or rush may do. And in that day shall Egypt be like unto a woman, and it shall be afraid and fear because of the shaking of the hand of the Lord of hosts, Yahweh, which he shaketh over it. Right, the destruction of this place is coming, because this is all part of prophecy. The failing of this kingdom is all part of prophecy. Right, the Lord is bringing judgment against this place. Right, it's all part of the plan. All right, so I thought I'd open up with that, but let's grab this, right. So here from Google AI overview, right, it says the United Kingdom faces a number of challenges, including cost of living crisis, right, driven by inflation. This crisis is one of the main concerns for Britons. Higher rates mean that bad debts are expected to increase, and households may have to cut spending to afford mortgage repayments. All right, so that's an issue that these people are facing. You know, people are losing their houses and shit, right? And they say they're getting pushed into worse jobs. So not only are they dealing with inflation, but they're dealing with less pay. You know, their money is not stretching as far as it once did. It was always putting up the fucking energy bills, the gas prices, you know, everything's going up, right? But again, that's all part of prophecy, man. That directly correlates to the black horse of Revelation, right? Chapter 6, verse 5 here, right? It says, and when he had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, come and see. And I beheld, and lo, a black horse, and he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hands. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine, right? And these pennies represents silver, right? 10 pieces of silver, which would be a man's wages for the day back then, right? And that was a lot, right? And this measure of barley is an amount of food enough for one person, right, to feed himself for the day, right? So if you've got family and stuff like that, right, you're gonna need more, obviously, right? You're gonna spend more on that, right? But these pennies are not like the pennies that we used to know, in which is like the lowest, you know, denominator of currency that we have, right, here in the UK, right? But these were, you know, silver coins, 10 silver coins. It would, you know, denarii as it was called back then, right? And so that's expensive, right? That would be expensive. 10 silver coins for, let's say for, you know, example for, you know, purposes, right? A loaf of bread. 10 silver coins for a loaf of bread. A day's wage for a loaf of bread. That's expensive, man. For just you. Right? So inflation is something that's gonna keep rearing its ugly head and ever increase, right? It's not gonna, you know, it may dip a little bit and, you know, go, you know, do this up and down thing, but ultimately the direction it's gonna be heading in is up, right? And shit is gonna be increasingly expensive, and to the point where people are not gonna be able to afford it, or be able to afford very little, right? Which they're gonna be struggling and suffering. You know, that is the direction of things going. So that is a problem, and that is all part of, that's all mentioned here in this prophecy. All right, so cost of living, right? That's a challenge which isn't going to be solved, right? Because we just see it here in the prophecy, man. That is foretold to happen, right? So next one is National Health Service, NHS. Right, it says crisis. The NHS is in crisis due to staffing shortages, right? Because they're poorly paid, overworked. Nobody wants to go into that industry anymore. The government don't want to pay them a decent wage to be able to do all that work, right? So there's shortages, right? They're trying to get all these immigrants in to come and take up the positions and so on and so forth, man. But even you got to see immigration on this list. It's becoming a problem, you know. So the NHS is failing, and nobody wants to really invest in it, right, to kind of bring it out of this crisis, right? They're strangling it to death, essentially, right? So they ain't gonna be fixed, right? You're gonna be waiting longer and longer for this for these appointments, for these surgeries to be done and so on and so forth, right? It's people are just dying, because they can't be seen. There's not enough people to see them. All right, so that's again an issue that's not going to be solved. Okay, ain't no one with any smart ideas for that. All right, so the next one says housing shortage. So the UK is facing a severe housing shortage, unlike any other country in Europe, right? So it seems here the UK got the worst issue to do with housing in Europe, which is crazy because UK is supposed to be one of the the strong toes in Europe, man. But they having these types of issues, man. Right? Too much people and not enough houses, and they ain't building them quick enough. But then all that is orchestrated, right? That was a plan. They stopped building houses, but the population is rising. They keep bringing in more and more immigrants, right? And there's no houses for them. So what do you think was going to happen? It doesn't take you to go to fucking Cambridge, right, to understand that. Right, or Eton or whatever these toffs go to school at, right? It doesn't take all of that for you to understand that. Okay, the maths don't make sense. That's simple maths, right? So obviously that's an engineered thing that they've done. All right. To immigration. Immigration became a main concern for British people from late 2022, right? And now there's this tension, ever-growing tension, because of these additional things, the NHS, the housing shortages, the jobs, the work, all of this is stacking, right? And causing this tension between, the Brits and the immigrants that are coming in, right? But like I said, all this tension, all this frustration that's being vented, being aired out, or whatever, that's all part of prophecy too, right? But let me grab some scriptures before moving on, right? I'll get Jeremiah 51 verse 8 here, right? It says, Babylon is suddenly fallen. Again, beginning with America, right? America is Babylon the Great, right? Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her. Take balm for her pain. If so, be she may be healed, right? There ain't no one out here with the ability to heal Esau's kingdom, to heal America, to heal Britain. It's not, nobody's got it. There's no way to heal it. There's no answer for all these things. Right? It is on a course of destruction. Right? That's the path it's on, and it's gonna stay on that path. Right? There's no help for it. Okay? So we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Right? Forsake her, right? To their intention that they would bring it, make America great and all that shit, right? Make America great again, right? They have supposedly have all these intentions, but there's no one out here that can. They can't revive this dying beast, right? This dying kingdom, right? Because it's at its end, right? It's not on the ascendancy. It's not on the come up, right? America's been at its pinnacle, right? And now it's on its way out. Its empire is on its way out, just like every empire before it, right? So there is no turning back the hands of time for this place. Okay, Esau has a limited amount of time. Revelation 12 and 12 tells you that Satan coming through great wrath because he have but a short time. His time is running out, so there's no going back, making it great as it was once was. No, your time is over. All right, so all this is happening. All right, so we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go everyone into his own country, for a judgment reacheth unto heaven, and is lifted up even to the skies. Right, so America is being faced with great judgment from the Heavenly Father, right? The Most High got a fierce judgment against that place, right? The Lord's going to waste that place with thermonuclear fire, right? So that's what's going to happen to that place because of its severe and great wickedness in the earth, all right? I read that. This is Daniel chapter 2, verse 41. I want to start from 40, right? So what we're in right now is the fourth kingdom, but the second part of that fourth kingdom, okay, specifically the feet, okay, and the toes, right? Because the fourth kingdom is the legs, which is made of iron, okay, which goes down to the feet, okay, which represents the legs represent Rome, and the feet represents the second part of the Roman Empire in this modern era, okay, which is begins with America, and it's NATO, the EU, right? And it says the fourth kingdom shall be as strong as iron, because Rome was known for its military might, and so is America, right? That is what they pride themselves on. That's what they're known for in this the great power that they have, right? So they're strong as iron. It says, for as much as iron breaketh in pieces and subdueth all things, right? Because that's what they've been going on doing, conquering and taking resources from people and, threatening and putting sanctions on people. They just, they got the might to do it, all right? And as iron that breaketh all these, it shall break in pieces and bruise, right? And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, which is where we are right now, right? Part of potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided, right? There's no solidarity between these nations, right? These Edomite nations all have a kind of an issue with each other. They have, certain dealings with each other in terms of they have certain agreements and stuff like that, in business and, warfare and all this kind of stuff, man. But really, they don't really get on as well as you might think they do. And we've seen that over the years with the tension between, these different Edomite nations, America and the EU, right? They kind of, stepping on one another, especially America. Because America take the piss because they're more stout than their fellows, the scripture tells you. Right? They behave in a more proud manner than these other nations because they're in the power seat. All right, but they don't really get on, and the people, don't get on in these different nations. It's a melting pot, right? So the kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in it of the strength of the iron, right? That's what bolsters the whole of these, European nations, the EU and NATO, right? Is NATO, and the fact that America is a part of NATO. Because if it wasn't for America, NATO wouldn't be half as strong as what it is. Let's just be real about it. All right, a lot of protection comes from America. Okay. It says, for as much as thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay. It's like, read that again. So the kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in it of the strength of the iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay. And as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken, right? You got weaker parts of Esau's kingdom in the EU especially, right? You got the pigs nations, Portugal, Italy, Ireland, Greece, and Spain, right? They ain't doing so well in comparison to other European nations, these other Edomite nations, right? So there are weaker parts to this, all right? But it seems like all these other nations, they're falling in the same way, right? In Britain, they're all falling down into problems, man. And it says, verse 43, and whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave to one another, even as iron is not mixed with miry clay, right? So going back to that whole immigration issue, right? Like I said, Esau heaps unto himself all people, right? He's got all these different types of people bound together, right? In hopes of, making themselves a better life. But culturally, they're all fucking different. And there's always going to be resentment when things are tough between these different cultures, these different identities, these different appearances, right? And that's what you're seeing right now, right? The nations are being divided internally, right? And the scripture speaks about a house divided against itself cannot stand, right? And so it's the same with, these kingdoms, they can't stand. They're breaking apart from the inside. And not only that, they got threats on the inside and they've got threats on the outside. War is coming. These Russia, Iran, and, they're enemies of the West, and they're looking to go to war with them. So they got issues within and issues without that they got to deal with, and all that is not ideal, especially in the state, how things are right now in these nations. They're very unstable and very weak. We're dealing with all these different types of problems. All right. So again, and whereas the sorest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with miry clay. Yeah, because they don't go together. Iron and clay don't go together. You know? Let's see quickly what else I had on the list next. All right, so we come back here, right? So the next one on this list is environment, right? So, Esau's playing this whole climate change thing in the earth, right, to further his agendas, right? So he's claiming that the earth is at risk or whatever because mankind is doing too much, basically. We're breathing too much, eating too much, effing too much, all this, having too much children, all this shit. We need to be, it needs to be, we need to not do that anymore. I can't think of a word I can say that won't flag, but yeah, you need to be stopping doing all of that. All right, so it's got here, the environment was a main concern for British people for much of 2023, right? Because Esau's putting in our minds that, we're all damaging the planet and that we all need to change our lives in order to save it, right? While Esau does nothing, the elites I'm speaking of, right? They don't do nothing, right? They live the same lives they will always live, right? And change nothing about what they do or the industries that they create and make money out of. They don't change that shit. You want to do all the changing. You're going to go be eating fake meat, lab-grown meat, whatever, 3D printed meat, whatever, bug meat, maggot juice, maggot milk, all this shit, right? You're going to be eating nothing real, basically, right? Soylent and Green. If any of you watched that movie. Yeah, you own nothing and supposedly be happy is what they tell you. You ain't gonna be driving no more, you ain't gonna be traveling no more, you ain't gonna need to go out your city no more because you're gonna be locked in a city and everything's gonna be there, so you ain't gotta travel nowhere anyway. They want you in a little fucking hamster cage. That's what it is, right? Running on that fucking wheel. That's what they want, right? And they're trying to convince you that everything will be alright if you just let it happen or support it or do whatever, man. But Esau is about to crush the people, right? He's just waiting to mark them. That's it, man. But yeah, so they're claiming that there's an issue with the planet, which there is. I'm not saying there isn't, right? But Esau is the one that ended up destroying it with all these fucking chemicals and pollution and fucking nuclear waste, all kinds of waste he's doing. Right, he is destroying the earth, right? But he is the problem. It's not. The source isn't the consumer, right? It's these elites, and also the wickedness is polluting the earth, right? So let me grab some scriptures on that. It's Revelation chapter 11 verse 18, and it says, "And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, and the time of the dead, that they should be judged, and that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants, the prophets, and to the saints, and them that fear thy name, small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth," right? It's Esau, beginning with these elites that are destroying the planet. Okay, they're peddling all kinds of pollution and wickedness, right? That's destroying the minds of people, destroying the environment, the oceans, the air, the trees, the animals, everything is being destroyed under the rulership of these Edomites, thinking that he knows best, when he don't know shit, So there is an issue with the planet, and the earth is dying, okay, but it's not for the reasons that he makes it out to be. That is his own agenda for him to give himself more power so he can destroy the earth even more, But the Lord is going to take care of him, man. He's going to take him out. Right? So the earth can heal. All right? Is Isaiah 24 verse 5. So the earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws. Okay? They don't take heed to the laws of the Heavenly Father. The Most High is the one with the manuscript, the manual on how to, manage this earth, how to look after it, to take care of it, man. And Esau doesn't give a shit. He doesn't want to listen to the words of the Heavenly Father. right? He's got the book. He knows what he should be doing and what he shouldn't be doing, but he's doing what he wants to do, okay, which is wickedness. And like I say, it has a negative impact in the earth, because he thinks he knows better, you know. But again, this is all part of why he's going to be destroyed, okay? So yeah, again, the earth was also defiled under the inhabitants thereof because they have transgressed the laws, right? Because Esau don't follow no laws, right? Changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant, right? He's just doing the contrary to the Heavenly Father at all times, It's 2 Ezra chapter 15, verse 6, for wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful words are fulfilled, right? It's all because of wickedness. All right, so Esau is the main problem concerning the environment, but he's trying to peddle it onto everybody else like it's their fault, their problem. All right, but back in this list here, it says the other issue is digital safety and privacy. It says the UK government has faced backlash for using surveillance technology that could log and store web histories of millions. All right, so yeah, nothing's private no more. Esau want to know every little bit of data about you, man. Esau selling you information and your habits to all these different companies, and they're sharing it with this company and sharing it with that. It's on these fucking UK, all these different databases. So they know enough about you, man. Right? They know a lot about you, man, and they're just compiling that shit. None of that shit's safe. Shit was always getting hacked. Right? Leaked, quote unquote leaked and hacked and all this kind of stuff or whatever. No, it's being sold and shit. Trading hands or whatever. Right? Because they're just gathering more and more intelligence on you, man. Acting like, they ain't doing nothing with the information. Of course they are. Of course they fucking are, man. You don't trust the devil, man. Alright? So yeah, people are concerned about those things. And so they should be. Alright? So trust is an all-time low, really. Concerning governments, concerning other people, concerning corporations. Trust is gone from society, man. And that's not good. And last on this list, I don't know if there was more, but it's on this list anyway. Right, productivity. Right, the UK's productivity is lagging behind compared to countries that have performed better since the global financial crisis of 2007 to 2009, right? Which usually just say 2008, but during that time period, right? They still haven't caught up. They still ain't doing good, right? Productivity is not what we're known for, right? We fail to make shit for ourselves. Same with America. America, they import far too much and export work too much, right? They'd rather save money by exporting work, labor to China, right? Because it's cheaper, and for them to bring the goods back, they'd rather do that, than pay their own workers to build things, and because it's more expensive, right? These corporations are all about capitalism. They're all about profit, but they're profiteers, man. They don't care about the countries or the people that they serve. They don't. All right, it's all about the bottom dollar. And this is greed is overrunning the earth. These elite and these corporations, they're too greedy, man. And so they're sucking everything dry from these countries, and the people are suffering because of it. But again, productivity is not something the UK is really known for, because we don't fucking make shit anymore. Okay, again, same with America, right? But again, this is part of prophecy, and everything's shutting down. Things are shutting down. Things we used to do, we don't do no more, and it's the same for a lot of places. A lot of different countries, man. They used to do things, and then they don't. For whatever reason. All right, but this is Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 4. And the doors shall be shut in the streets, right? The work, jobs, all kinds of things. Shops, retail, factories, all kinds of things, man. Right? They're closing down. Right? Things are not as good as they once were. That's why everyone keeps talking about making such and such great again. Rewind that clock to a more prosperous time. But no, it's not happening. Right? And new upstart companies or something, they might turn up. Like Amazon, British just gave Amazon or just agree with deal with Amazon to create, X amount of jobs by, I can't remember what it is that they were doing, but yeah, it's building some factory or something, right? They provide 15,000 jobs or something or whatever, but it's not really, it's not a productive thing, because most of what Amazon do is it's being machine driven, right? So yeah, a few people are gonna get some minor role jobs and a little bit of change, but it's not gonna be that much. It's not gonna improve really the towns and cities that they're in, really, because Amazon are making a killing, man, because they ain't paying taxes, right? They're paying low amount of taxes, they're paying low amount of wages, right? So they're just reaping in profit. It doesn't really benefit society what they're doing, So people are still losing that. But anyway, so the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grind is low, right? When the work is low, there's not enough people in work, right? Getting into that productivity, they're not working, man. They're not producing anything. All right, he shall rise up the voice for birth, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. Right, so again, all this is prophecy, man. This is all supposed to be taking place. All right, that's what we're seeing around us. That's why everything's failing. Right? This is from 2 Ezra chapter 15, verse 14. It says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh." Right? So this is what we continuously keep on telling you, man. This is where everything is headed. Everything's heading to destruction. Right? And this is going to cause great uproar, great, serious time of trouble in the earth, man, when this all falls apart. Because it will fall apart. Ain't nobody going to save it. Right? Pursuant to Daniel chapter 12, verse 1, a time of great evil shall come upon the earth, man, such as never been. So we're all waiting for this, man. This is what we expect to see. And this is where everything is heading. All right? So for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands, right? So people are going to go buck wild, man, and start, beating the shit out of each other, man, basically, right? Fighting one another, right, in order to survive, right? Because things are going to be so bad. It says, verse 16, "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, they should not regard their kings or princes," right? So things are going to get so bad that people are going to have enough with the government. They ain't going to listen to their authorities no more. Okay, they're not going to obey, right? And so Esau going to have to come out with greater force in order to counteract these types of men, right? And going back to speaking of Revelation 12 and 12, the devil coming for great wrath, because you have but a short time. You're going to see that wrath come out, okay? And how he's going to deal with people. He's already changing up, the types of policies that he's backing. On one hand, they're speaking sweet things, and then on the other hand, once they're in power and in a position or whatever, they're bringing out harsh, draconian legislations, man. And so they're putting themselves in the position to do all this, man. Right, so they're going to come hard against these rebellious sorts. All right, but again, there's going to be sedition among men. Right, this is and the course of their action shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, right? Because again, Esau going to have to bring down the wrath, right? He's going to lock down cities, just like he did during the whole, worse, right, than he did during the whole pandemic, right? And like I said, it's not the only place that is going to be doing it, right? This is going to be a worldwide event. All these nations are going to be under this, So because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. For a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation, right? So great tribulation is coming upon the earth. And people are going to be fighting one another, man, just for scraps of bread, man, just to eat, just to drink, right? Just to survive, because things are going to get so bad, right? And the world is not in a mindset that they could be in a position like this next year or something, end of this year, next year. That is not on their thoughts, man. They don't believe that could happen. But it could. We couldn't tell you exactly when, but it's going to happen at some point. But you people with mentality out here, man, it's acting like it could never happen. But you're going to find yourself in this predicament not knowing what to do or what the fuck's going on, you know. It's 2 Ezra chapter 9, verse 1. It says, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Right, so us brothers out here, prophesying, telling you all these things that that are gonna happen, and linking it with the scriptures, so you can see what's going on. Right, these are all signs. Okay, so you can be aware, you can know what's going on. Whether you hear, whether you forbear, that's that's up to the Lord, isn't it? But our job is to warn, and to present these things before the people, right, for the elect's sake. All right, but all these things are happening. Right, verse 3 said, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, like I said, tensions are growing because of things like this. I said, it's not the UK, not only the UK going through these things, right? There's uproars going on all over the place, right? These are all signs, right? And of course, the earthquakes, right? It says, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning, right? This was plotted out a long time ago, man. It was spoken, it was said, it was told, and now it's time. Okay, for like as all that is made in the world have a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. That's what you're witnessing, the end. Right? Even so, the times also of the highest have plain beginnings in wonder and powerful works, and endings in effects and signs. All right. So these things, they're all signs to us. They're all indicators to what's going on, for us to measure the time diligently, right? To know that we're close. Right? Again, we can't give you no specific time, but these things tell us that we're close. Okay, and people should really listen and take notice of the things that are going on in the earth and these scriptures. All right, and so I'm going to end it there. Long-winded, this has been edifying. I'll catch you brothers and sisters on the next video. So to then, I'll say shalom.